Good, happy Wednesday morning, September 29, 2021. I'm Riley King, and welcome to this Wednesday morning edition of the Riley King Newscast, right here on the Riley King Network. We have a lot of news to get to this Wednesday morning, so let's get started. First up, health experts expect an increase in flu cases into the fall and winter. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
Why are you screaming at me? Jackpot alert. Great. Let's go get tickets. But first, buckle up.
Last year's flu season had minimal impacts on New Hampshire. Doctors say our COVID routines we became accustomed to, hand washing, mask use, social distancing, helped keep it in check. But this year, many of those protocols have been relaxed.
A lot of people are not wearing masks anymore. People are getting together again. I predict that we're probably going to see more of the flu this year.
And with both viruses sharing similar symptoms, it can be difficult to determine between the two.
Similar symptoms in terms of feeling a little bit achy, feeling headaches. COVID for some patients does have the condition that they may lose taste or smell, which is a little bit different from flu.
If you're exhibiting those symptoms, a fever, cough, sore throat, and we don't know is it flu or COVID, the best thing is to go ahead and get yourself tested.
And just like in years past, medical experts are urging everyone to get a flu shot, adding with the pandemic still in play, it's more important to get your shot now more than ever.
And that's why we're trying to do everything that we can do to get patients access to those flu vaccines.
There's certainly the chance that you could catch influenza and COVID-19 at the same time. So certainly anything you can do to prevent that from happening would be beneficial.
It's going to be important that we really focus on trying to prevent both of them at the same time this year.
And according to the CDC, if you received your COVID-19 shot this year, you can also get your flu shot. Reporting live, I'm Tim Callery, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Man found with life-threatening head injury in Laconia. Police seek tips from public. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
Why are you screaming at me? Jackpot alert. Great. Let's go get tickets. But first, buckle up.
Laconia police investigating what they believe to be a random assault in their city. Officers were called to the area of 136 Pleasant Street at about 8:30 Monday night.
Upon arrival of the first initial responding officers, they found a male subject laying on the sidewalk, bleeding very heavily from his head.
The victim is a 29-year-old Laconia man who was transported to Concord Hospital, where he remains unconscious with life-threatening injuries.
We're actively investigating. We're pursuing whatever leads we have with limited information. We did locate some of the victim's belongings in nearby. Definitely leads us to believe that a brutal assault occurred.
Chief Matt Canfield says they have no reason to believe the attack was anything other than random, but it's still early in the investigation.
Well, we're certainly looking to obtain any surveillance video in the area, especially any home video, or encourage anybody that may have seen or heard anything in the area last night to certainly contact the Laconia Police Department.
Pleasant Street is mostly residential and dimly lit in the area of the assault, but investigators are hoping someone saw something.
We absolutely are looking for the public's help.
Now, anyone with information is asked to call Laconia Police, or you can call the Laconia Crime Line. That number is 524-1717. In Laconia tonight, Jason King, WMUR News.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Crews on scene of a water main break in Dover. Dover police say a section of Broadway will be closed for several hours. A water main break has shut down a section of Broadway in Dover. Police said the road was closed early Wednesday morning between Oak and Hill Streets. They said Dover Community Service crews are on the scene working to repair the break. Water service has been shut off to the area. The repair is expected to take several hours, Dover police said. Epsom man faces multiple counts of child pornography possession. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
Why are you screaming at me? Jackpot alert. Great. Let's go get tickets. But first, buckle up.
Tonight, this man from Epsom is accused of possessing child pornography. Mark Dignan was arrested at his home today after an investigation by Epsom police and the Internet Crimes Against Children Task Force. He's expected in court tomorrow. A digital forensics team says it found evidence in his home. Police call this an ongoing investigation and ask anyone with more information on Dignan to call them.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Witness to hit and run wonders why police didn't act sooner. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
Why are you screaming at me? Jackpot alert. Great. Let's go get tickets. But first, buckle up.
Saw him hit the biker into the woods.
Trevor Casista is 21. Last Tuesday, he was on Route 125 driving to pick up his grandmother for breakfast. He says an SUV had its blinker on and was going very fast in the breakdown lane.
But he never slowed down, and it just caught my eye that he didn't slow down. He was going at least 50 when he hit the biker.
Trevor says his first instinct was to pull over, try to get a photo of the SUV, and help the bicyclist. But he says that SUV driver sped up even faster, right to his back bumper.
I didn't know what to do, so I panicked and drove up and called my grandma once I seen him U-turn because I didn't know what he was thinking.
Trevor says 30 seconds down the road, he spotted a police officer making a traffic stop, so he pulled over to make the report.
He had someone pulled over, and at first he told me to go. He didn't want to talk to me. And, I told him that I just saw something, and that's when he was kind of understanding. And the only thing that threw me off is instead of him, going after, he was like, I'm going to let a cop know.
Trevor says he's not sure if the officer took any notes, but he did not ask for his phone number. When the family saw news reports stating it took hours to locate Donna Briggs' body, they wondered why.
It's just crazy to me. How does that happen? I told you guys what you needed to know. And then the questions didn't come after, a lot of questions after, a couple days later. And we had to call them.
Trevor says he did do another interview with state police today, but he is still wondering about an initial report he made to a police officer minutes after the hit and run. He wonders if that officer ever did anything with the information, a question no one will answer for us. Live in Kingston, Amy Covino, WMUR News.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Active COVID-19 cases drop in New Hampshire. Hospitalizations flat. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
Why are you screaming at me? Jackpot alert. Great. Let's go get tickets. But first, buckle up.
New numbers show active cases of COVID-19 dropping in New Hampshire, although the weekly average for new cases is slightly higher. There is one more person in the hospital tonight and one new death confirmed from earlier this month. Close to 19% of today's new cases are in kids under 18. That's the first time that has been below 20% since September 2nd.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Pfizer submits data to FDA on vaccines for young children. Let's take a listen to that video from ABC News.
Accenture. Let there be change.
The news on the pandemic, Pfizer revealing that they have now submitted to the FDA the first data on their vaccine for children 5 to 11 years old. So the question, how soon could there be vaccines for children? And on boosters tonight, the new study just in from the CDC on side effects. And Dr. Fauci tonight, and that question from so many waiting for boosters from Moderna and Johnson & Johnson. How soon could we learn the data on mixing and matching for those waiting? Here's Eva Pilgrim.
You ready? She's going to count for me, okay? 2.
Tonight, Pfizer says it has started submitting trial data to the FDA showing the vaccine is safe and effective in 5 to 11-year-olds. The FDA beginning its review right away.
In the next few weeks, they will examine that data and hopefully they'll give the okay so that we can start vaccinating children, hopefully before the end of October.
Officials warning that timeline could slide by a few weeks. The number of Americans hospitalized with COVID down more than 20% since early September, but hundreds of kids are still going into hospitals every day. At Dayton Children's Hospital, a vaccine for the young can't come soon enough.
This year, it just seems like they're just so much sicker. I can't breathe, having a really hard time breathing. I'm worried and anxious for them.
Across the country, new vaccination lines for Pfizer boosters. More than 400,000 Americans have rolled up their sleeves since the weekend, and almost 1 million more have scheduled shots for the coming weeks.
If you know that you can do something to help you stay well, then why not do it?
A new CDC study finding the side effects from booster shots were similar to those after the second dose. The most common were fatigue, headache, and sore arm that went away within a few days. Across the country, a showdown over vaccine mandates. In North Carolina, Novant Health firing 175 workers for refusing to get the vaccine. And in New York, a midnight deadline pushing thousands of healthcare workers across the state to get their first shot or risk being fired or suspended. 92% of hospital staff now have at least one vaccine shot.
Every single time the city of New York wins, because we have a simple argument. We're protecting the health and well-being of our employees, of our kids.
10% of New York City teachers who are still unvaccinated now facing a Friday deadline to get that first shot. In North Carolina, teacher and mother of 4 Meredith Mongone, who was unvaccinated, got COVID in August. Before dying last week, she urged her daughters to get the shot.
Well, she made the appointment to get her oldest vaccinated, and they will all get vaccinated as soon as they can. The vaccine does work. She probably would be here.
And the NIH has been studying mixing and matching vaccines. Dr. Fauci said that data on a Moderna as a booster is already in. The data on Johnson & Johnson as a booster is expected within the next week. So we should have some answers very soon as far as mixing and matching vaccines. David?
We know millions are waiting for that. Eva, thank you.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. And that does it for this morning edition of the Riley King Newscast right here on the Riley King Network. Thank you for tuning in and watching. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you back here later on today for another newscast. Goodbye, everyone.